Hello, everyone! Welcome in to our Camera Hub 2.0 overview and Q&A. In case you guys didn't know, we did release our Camera Hub 2.0 update. We hope that you guys are super excited for this because we have a lot to talk about and a lot to share with you guys. But first off, today we have two amazing people, two amazing coworkers on stream with us. So for those who are new, my name is Jasmine. I'm the host and the senior community specialist over at Elgato. And then we have James.
Hey everyone, my name is James. You'll typically find me on the subreddit, so if you ever hang out on the subreddit, you'll often see me there. I host our betas over there, so if you're ever on the subreddit, definitely be sure to post and check out the betas if you're around. I do a lot more than that, but that's where you'll see me publicly.
Hi, and hi, everybody. I am Stephanie, also known as Clover, and I am the Maker Relations Specialist in charge of Marketplace. So if you guys are ever interested in creating products, I am the person that's probably the point of contact emailing you or contacting you. And I'm also going to talk to you guys about how cool it is to make LUTs and how fun it is today. So excited to have y'all join us.
Let's go! So in case you guys didn't know, we're also hosting a Facecam Mark II giveaway. So this will also give you access to Camera Hub 2.0 and our Camera Hub software. So I hope you guys are very excited to give away. We'll be posting a keyword sometime throughout the stream, so stay tuned, stick around. There's no ETA for when the giveaway is going to happen, so you can't just have to, be here when it happens. And also, if you guys are curious, I am using Facecam Mark II, James is using Facecam Neo, and Stephanie is using Facecam Pro. So you guys kind of see it live in action right now. We're also all using LUTs as well. So we'll go into more LUTs very shortly. But first off, what's new in Camera Hub 2.0? So we have LUTs, we have one-click installation of marketplace integration, new languages for voice sync, prompter improvements, tint control for Facecam Neo, and new Stream Deck controls, as well as lots of like little small improvements here and there as well. But let's go ahead and start with this off. What are LUTs?
So yeah, for those who are not familiar with LUTs, LUTs stands for lookup table. Essentially, what it is, without getting into the nitty gritty, it allows you to adjust your picture in a way that you want it to be. So, if, for example, like color corrections, like color grading, film emulation, like matching footage, on-set visualizations, like say you have like for example, like my shirt, I want the colors to pop more, right? I can apply a LUT to make certain colors stand out more than normal, where it may like a little bit more dull. Or let's say, for example, like my skin tone, let's say it's looking a lot very gray, and I want to have a more of a warm tone. With LUTs, it's all very achievable, which is very cool. So it's one of our first in our software. It's one of the first that I'm aware of that is introduced in webcam softwares. So it's really cool that's actually brought to more of a scale that anyone can use besides of being like a professional video editor or being having to use a completely different software. But yeah, that's a quick little rundown of LUTs. Jasmine, are you talking? I don't hear you talking,
Mm.
Jasmine.
I
You're
was
You guys know
muted.
what
muted.
time it is. It's jazz meet
You're
time.
No!
muted. It's the
I think that's
time,
a new record.
Jasmine. I
Jazz
know.
mute.
I
I
did
was
so
like, I
well! I've
explained
done
to
so well
Jasmine.
of going
I
not muted myself!
made me feel a little bit awkward here.
I
I even
was
thought, I was like, "Is it my turn to talk?"
okay. I was talking this entire time. It's no one saw nothing. Right? That was part of the that was a skit. That was a skit. Yeah. That was definitely a skit, guys. Right. 100% a skit. We're just playing, guys. Anyways, Stephanie, go ahead and show us how LUTs work.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm actually going to switch real quick to my screen because I want to give you guys a quick overview. So I have two setups right now. One is going to be Camera Hub and one is Stream Deck. So y'all are going to see some quick move actions because with the update for Camera Hub, we also updated the Camera Hub plugin. So if you haven't done so already, go in your Stream Deck app, make sure it's up to date. If it's not, it's available for you on Marketplace today. And what that's going to give you is more control over LUTs and some of the big update features that we've added. But to get this start, you guys can probably see there's a lot of colorful buttons here featuring Sean from the team. And what this is these are our LUTs. And now I'm going to switch to Camera Hub. There we go. And now what we can see is that so we've got a regular camera hub page. This is all my settings that I normally use. As Jasmine said earlier, I am on the Facecam Pro. But on the effects tab, you can now see that we have the addition of the LUTs. And with the default update, Camera Hub 2.0, you will have 5 LUTs installed here automatically. They will always be here. If you accidentally delete them, don't worry, we can get them back. But we also have an additional amount of LUTs now on Marketplace. We're starting to get Maker LUTs coming online today as well. So if you are a videographer, if you're maybe really into LUTs, if you have some advanced camera knowledge, and this is something you're interested in, please message us after the stream and we'd love to talk to you about getting your LUTs online. But to start it off with, it's really as simple as once we get this added, you're going to select the LUT, you're going to select the intensity. Now, on installation, all of these are going to automatically go at 100%. LUTs, just like filters you would use on your social media, on your Instagram, you're not going to use it at 100%, but you're going to use that to help push the colors in that direction. As James said before, LUTs are using a lookup table, using mathematics, and using color grading to kind of achieve this final look. So I can kind of bring it to just, pull my saturation down. Right now I have this at about 21%. I could go 100%, and I've got a black and white. And this is using specifically the Film Noir, which is one of the default LUTs installed with the new Camera Hub update. And let's see. I'm actually going to do this. I think I found a LUT I have not installed yet. So let me just double check to confirm I did not install it. Okay, perfect. I'm actually going to come back to my screen. And this is Marketplace. I'm logged into my account, which is important because the account that's logged in is going to talk to my Camera Hub software and everything else. And I'm going to go ahead and click Get. And immediately it's going to start launching and opening in Camera Hub. And now when I go back to the Camera Hub page, we can see I have a brand new LUT. I hover over it. It says Deep Impact. It automatically, again, installs at 100%. I can set that default to whatever I like. I think in this case, I'm going to keep it at about 30. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to my screen. So we are going to look at adding a button. Oh no, Camera Hub. I think my Camera Hub might have crashed just for a second because now it thinks Camera Hub is not open. But what I was going to do here is I was going to go ahead and set a button up for the brand new LUT using the Camera Hub profile. So this is how we can kind of make those changes and updates here for the LUT. You can control it with your Stream Deck. You can add it and control it in the Camera Hub software if you don't want to use a Stream Deck or don't have a Stream Deck. But this really great thing about them is they're so customizable.
Yeah, I just want to also add in that for me, what LUTs are we all using right now? Because for me, I am currently using the, I believe it's called Film Noir. So I actually like this because this kind of makes my skin not look so red because I kind of have like a lot of like redness in my face sometimes. So if I were to take this off, this is what it kind of looks off, right? You can see like my face is kind of red in comparison to like my neck, right? So I kind of use this kind of like balance off that color, kind of make it look more. It looks like I'm not, I don't have a lot of redness on my face right now. So that helps a lot for me. And this is at 20% intensity, and I really do like this. And we can go and try the other ones as well. This one's gonna be coffee break. A nice little coffee break. I'll do like a little off and on so that way you get to see the LUTs. So this is off, and then with coffee break. And this is all at 20%. So if I wanna go like super crazy, here's the 100%. But like Stephanie said, you don't wanna go 100% here. You wanna make sure that you're kind of like, I like to stay around 20% personally. So that is for me. And then my favorite would be Film Noir. So this is here mine. I am glowing in coffee breaks. Yes, I am. I'm very glowing. But here, you can see like the difference. Right? I kind of like a monotone, I feel like. Because it kind of makes my skin color match a little bit more and like not so reddish for me. So next one's gonna be Hollywood. So this is gonna be Hollywood. Let me turn this off. So this is off. No LUTs here. And this is Hollywood. So Hollywood's also really nice, but you can kind of tell my face is still kind of red. So I wouldn't use this personally. But next one's gonna be True Tone. So this is off. True Tone. True Tone's actually not too bad. I actually do like True Tone. I feel like it's a lot more closer. But I think my favorite is still Film Noir. And then the next one's Vivid Boost. So This Vivid Boost. All of them are really nice, actually, but I'm gonna stick with my film noir.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Do you have Neon Pop installed? Did I miss that?
I do not have Neon Pop installed. No.
Oh, it would match. So Neon Pop, for those of you guys don't know, it is like the blurple, the blue, purple, pink. It would look so good with Jasmine's setup right now because she's got so much pink.
No, this is not the only new thing, Oscar. You can find out more information through exclamation mark camera hub. So there's a Reddit post that right there, actually, Rugi the Bear posted the Reddit link there. But for LUTs, James, Stephanie, you guys want to share what LUTs you guys have and are using? Oh, Stephanie, you already showcased, but James. James muted! You're muted, James!
Oh.
Oh, I'm muted. I'm muted.
Not
See,
just
I don't
me.
wanna
Not just
accidentally
me.
come over. I don't wanna have no background noise. I do have animals, so I don't wanna
James mute.
put the
James
microphone.
mute.
Okay, all right, we get it. We get it. We get it. We get it. So I'm using the Hollywood. I'm using the Hollywood LUTs at the moment, which is one of the default ones. I personally like to have a more of a warm like output on my camera. Uh, and same as Jasmine, I have an issue where like reds on my skin, in particular my lips, stick out like a little bit too much in certain cameras. So with LUTs, it's helped me to be able to achieve my more natural skin tone, which I really enjoy. So that's one thing I really do and like is to be able to like Jasmine was saying. So this is with it off. Actually no, let's see. So actually this is off and then this is on. So I only have it at 32%. You of course, if you're trying to get like a more dramatic feel, you could crank it up, like, like say you don't have to necessarily crank it to 100% by all means, but it depends, right? Like if you want to try to go with something like more dramatic like this, for like a very like dramatic, like dark and white scene, like by all means, you probably want to go to 100%. But like let's say you're just trying to do like Jasmine's doing, where she's just trying to get rid of some of the red, like you can go crank it down to like 11% or 10%, right? So it's very down to a personal feel and preference. And so I like, yeah, I'm using the Hollywood one. I think it really brings out my more natural skin tone, um, and my lips in particular too, which I've always usually have an issue with. Where it seems to always come like I'm wearing makeup, and I'm not.
I just realized I hit the wrong I had the wrong key because I like to use my Stream Deck for like, Twitch chat basically. Oh wow, Steffi. There we go.
There we go. There it is, the neon. I'm
There we
gonna put this
go.
at
The neon
100%.
pop.
This is only at 30. Look at this.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
like that girl from Blade Runner, the new one, where she's just like the
See, I think
hologram.
cool too for like if you're trying, yeah,
That
especially if
way,
you're
there you go.
trying to set them like the theme, like a neon punk style, right? Like it's super cool to see that. Like especially if you're doing like
Mhm.
D&D stuff or set to like a theme, I think it's very helpful to do that.
That's
When this too, like
awesome.
this says 10%, right? This is how strong some of these LUTs are really subtle. They're really cinematic, as words like to use. Some are really intense, and you want to use just the slightest bit, or don't. Have a ton of pink. It's fine. We're not
Mhm.
we're not gonna we're not gonna judge how you guys use your LUTs. And maybe I want to match my Clefairy right here.
The Clefairy.
Yeah.
Oh, so cute.
She and my little doom demon are just keeping me busy right now. But yeah, one of the really great things about this, like, again, is just the possibilities, right? For me personally, when I've done a lot of work, camera work, I've had to use LUTs in various places. Oftentimes, I've done that through OBS. There's an option to add a LUT into OBS to kind of edit my camera. But then every time I'm moving scenes, I'm editing things, I'm having to reapply that LUT over and over and over again. And so, as James said, really being able to do this at the camera level and then running virtual camera negates all that extra work. I'm applying the LUT directly to the camera, and now every source that grabs my camera already has it set the way that I want to do it here in the Camera Hub software.
One thing I want to do note is, if you do have Camera Hub installed, you have to select the virtual camera. So if you guys do update, of course, during this stream, and you're curious of why the LUT may not be applied, you have to make sure you're using the Elgato virtual camera as your video source. So like in Discord or Zoom or Teams, etc. If you're trying to get what we're achieving here in real time, you have to make sure you're using the Elgato virtual camera. If you're just using, like, say, yeah, like I'm using a Facecam Neo, if you just only select the Facecam Neo, the LUT will not be applied to that direct source. So just something to keep in mind if you are using the LUTs or if you're in the process of updating Camera Hub at the moment, like why is it not working for me? You have to make sure you select that camera.
I'm actually kind of really feeling this amber filter right now, you
It
Oh, it
looks
guys.
does look
good.
nice.
It's making my
Yeah.
my filter. I'm gonna zoom in on this. Wait, hold on. Oh, too high. It's making my freckles pop. Like,
Oh,
can you see this?
wow.
I have makeup on, and these freckles are still popping over it. So no, you're right. It absolutely is a sepia toned, but the reason we call it amber is because it's just a slightly more gold orange sepia. You know, a lot of times sepias can go more burnt umber, a little more brown, a little desaturated. This one is a very highly saturated sepia, which is why we called it amber over just a standard sepia tone. I can make a movie set in Mexico. You know what? I'm really close. I'm in Texas already. So we'll see. Though, what if like kind of going back and looking at some of these LUTs, could do maybe a
Just
little
real quick, I do
cold.
want to mention that we do have a little questions, was it command here? So if you guys have any questions throughout the stream about Camera Hub 2.0, please use exclamation mark Q. So it's like a little example used with Nightbot right there, and then space, and then your question here. So that way we can actually bring your question onto the stream and show it for everyone. Sorry about that, Stephanie. Go ahead and
No,
continue.
no, you're fine. I realized too that when I had removed my camera, I had completely messed up how Jasmine had me centered. So I'm gonna fix that. There we go. So again, I mean, this is LUTs are really fun, right? You can use it if you're streaming. You can use it. I could use this in my Slack calls for my work, right? I could absolutely just make myself grayscale, make myself maybe even just clean up, right? For me right now, I have my blinds closed, but typically during the day, I like to have them up and open, and that backlighting can sometimes fade me out, even when my front lights are on. And one of the really cool things about LUTs is, again, as James said, is there's a lot of math involved in the LUT itself, and it will search and pull out colors and tones and kind of reapply a new color shading to that. So I may look a little more washed out. Maybe I don't want to apply a change to my white balance. Maybe I don't want to mess with my contrast or my exposure. A LUT's a really great way to kind of elevate and pull some of my features and colors forward, make me look more professional, and make my camera look just a little crisper.
Awesome. And then we do have a few questions actually. So we did talk about this earlier, but just for everyone who's just tuning in now, this is a question from Apple. What is your favorite LUT as of yet?
Jasmine, you should go first.
Yeah, so mine's definitely it's noir, so I believe it's called the film noir. Noir? I always pronounce
Noir.
this noir. I always pronounce this
Mhm.
wrong. So film noir is my favorite one, just because it takes away my redness from my cheeks, because my face does get really red, so it kind of helps like correct my skin tone color. Because without it, my face is like a little bit red.
Real quick, just because I see this, and I know I'm skipping a question here, and I'm actually skipping a couple questions, but I do want to add is, Vic, you can add your own custom LUTs if they're PNG or Q files, which we'll go more into details, of course, but you can do that now. I did see I wanted to call that out immediately before I forget. So if
Yeah,
you do
and
have
Arthi,
your own
you
LUTs,
can.
yeah, that is an option right now in the software. So sorry, skipping the questions. But anyways, my favorite is Hollywood.
Hollywood's a good
That's what
one.
I'm using right now. Like I said, it brings up more, I feel like, my warm tone here. There's actually a couple for actually to help with more warm tones, because warm tone is the best tone, as we all know. Sorry, Jasmine. But we all know that. So
That's crazy. That's
it's really
crazy.
nice. It's been proven in the past. People have said this in both polls. So just saying.
No, no, it's
Um,
cool. It's cool. Cool
both
tone
polls have
only.
been I
It's we're
don't care if
close.
the last one
Colton
in
won last
December
time.
was a tied.
Yeah.
The last one was a tied in December, but I'm gonna still say warm one. But there's like a couple of warm tones I really like, and I feel like I said, it helps me with my more natural tone. So I really like that.
Yeah. And it's guys, it's not cold tone, it's the hoa 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 hoa.
Okay.
I took a
Okay,
vacation to
70.
Alaska in September, and I think like every 5 minutes that's all we kept doing because it's it's like it up there. Um I actually I love Hollywood. I was using it a lot, but for this stream specifically, because of how I have my lighting set up today, I'm actually using True Tone because I found that it just makes some of my subtle details still pop without completely washing out too much contrast. The Hollywood has, to me, just a little bit stronger contrast, which is really good, right? It's that color grading that you're going to see in all those cinematic fills. It's going to make those darks pop, those blacks pop, the shadows come forward. But with True Tone, it still kind of keeps me, I think, a little more neutral in terms of what the contrast is for this camera. So it's 60 FPS, 1080p. You can see right now I'm using it at 31% intensity. Now, um, oh gosh, sorry. Somebody just really wanted to run down the street.
It's someone the new
My
Fast and the Furious. It's okay.
one of the other ones that I really have enjoyed in terms of functional LUTs, and we're really hoping to get, I think, more mechanical LUTs, and this is charcoal. So charcoal is actually at 100%. You can
Oh my
see it's
god.
black and white. It's kind of posterizing me. It's really uh, upping the contrast, probably about as much as you could kind of expect to. But when you pull it down a little bit softer, so this is 20 to 30% even, you can kind of see it gives almost a nice cartoony feel. Now, how and why you would use this, obviously that's going to be different, but it kind of shows, I think, the practicality of the effects that LUTs can also have beyond just color grading, right? It's going to change some of the more feature rich parts of your video. So
I can see it. Someone doing that for Resident Evil, like on PlayStation 1 playthrough.
oh, vintage games. I love it, especially if you have your lighting better. And the cool thing too, again, these are our intro LUTs, guys. We just launched it. We've got LUTs default installed, more LUTs on the marketplace. Right now, I think we've got in queue probably a good handful of LUTs coming on for marketplace between today and tomorrow. So if you guys are familiar with Harris Heller, we've got some of his custom ones coming online today. And I know I've got two other creators that have come to me with them too. So if you're a person, if you've created your own LUTs, hit me up. And I'd love to talk with you again about getting them on the marketplace. Oh, I know. Maybe I should hide this. We're not really partnered with Oculus, but there we go. So,
All right, so let's see. Next question. Also, remind guys just to make it easier, so we can show the question on stream. We should use that command right there. So next question is gonna be from. Let me see. T Pain. T Pain is asking, can I pair this software with other cameras or only Elgato products? So
You want me to
for
answer?
I got it. I got the answer. I got the answer. So you can only use it for Elgato products. So like our webcams, like for example, I'm using Facecam Mark II, James is using Facecam Neo, Stephanie's using Facecam Pro. You can use it with Prompter, Stream Decks, as well as Camlink 4K. So that's what the software you can use for.
That's the only caveat I would say is the only not, but you have to still get an Elgato product is
mhm,
a Camlink 4K. Is if you want to use like a DSLR camera, that's gives you the accurate
mhm.
use LUT, which I think is really cool. But that really the only is but still you have to get an Elgato Camlink. So
Yeah. And I mean, I will say, like, if you want to download the LUTs that we have for sale or for free on Marketplace, you absolutely can, because at the end of the day, in that file is a .cube, and the .cube is what a LUT file is. So if you're using any software that utilizes LUTs, you can use it. But in the case, at least for today, we are showcasing LUTs as it works through the Camera Hub software. So in order to use the software to the full extent, you will need Camera Hub.
Mm-hmm. And then for Stream Deck is more like just so you can control Camera Hub, just for a heads up. So you will need a what's it, Elgato webcam, or like James said, Camlink 4K as well for it to work as well. But yeah, that is pretty much for that, T-Pain. I believe we have another question. Let's see, we have a lot of good questions here. So next question is gonna be from Helmosilo. Can you bind LUTs to the Stream Deck? Stephanie, if you wanna show them
Yes, but
the.
I broke it
Oh
somehow,
yeah.
so we're gonna see. I think I broke it when I you know what it is, guys. You don't do anything on camera or live because it will stop working. But go ahead and show the screen because we're gonna do. So again, Stream Deck has, you don't need my place right now. Stream Deck has within the camera hub now a button to install LUTs. So each of these is a LUT that I currently have installed. The LUTs that you saw me playing around with Camera Hub. So you can see these icons to the left in the LUT section. All of them have those big bright colors. Those same colors are corresponding with the icons for Stream Deck, and it's going to auto populate it. So when I add a brand new one, it will do is it'll create that here. It'll automatically detect the LUT. And then because the thumbnail in the software is actually generated from the LUT file itself, it'll create that thumbnail to share here. So it's really cool to see what it does. It's just I happened to break it because I was getting too fancy with it.
I want to add real quick too. Let's say I know Sean looks very nice in that photo, but you can also change that thumbnail. And if you change the thumbnail, it doesn't change it for an individual lot. It'll change it for all your lots. So if you want to change the thumbnail to a photo of yourself, you could update that, put a photo of yourself, and that lot will apply. And you can actually see the lot how it applies, of course, not thumbnail. So a little cool little thing that we introduced with that that I thought was really cool is you're able to change your thumbnail and see what it applies to that preview, which is really handy. So shot looks great, of course. It gives you a good example, but if you do want to replace it with your own photo, by all means you can.
All right, and then next question is gonna be from Maddie Two Shoes. So they're asking, what's the submission process like for LUTs?
Oh, okay. I was like, "Oh, that's me." I'm, like, sitting here reading Maddie's other comment about it. Maddie, first of all, you are correct. It is a lookup table technically, but, I am also an Excel guru, and so I'm really weary about calling other things lookup tables because first and foremost, I think of Excel lookup tables. But yes, let's lookup tables, that's exactly what it is. When you submit to us on the marketplace, and, I'm gonna do is actually pull up a manifest file because this is really important. So we need two things from you. One is a .cube file. The .cube is the LUT. We can upload or batch as many as we want, but typically right now we're keeping them each as an individual product. And then we are also creating a manifest file. And what this manifest file is doing is it's just giving us a little title and description, a little extra information, and that's gonna kind of control how your LUT is viewed in Camera Hub. Those two we zip together and we deliver it to a customer, and that automatically does the download for what we call deep linking, which is a fancy term for when you download something on Marketplace, it automatically opens in our software. We have activated that with LUTs. So when you come to me and you're ready to submit a LUT, a lookup table, you're going to want to get me those .cube files, and we're going to work together to make sure that this manifest is correct. So if we're hoping to get this documentation more live where I can actually get a template of this manifest. It's really simple. It's not much, but again, it's just the information that the Camera Hub software needs to caption your LUTs. And then from there, I'll help you get a marketplace account. We'll make sure that you're connected, and then we'll get any other information that we need to get this from you. So, Maddie, send me a message here in the DMs, and I'll make sure to message you after this stream.
What a cool kind of nerd though.
Yeah,
Agreed,
I'm
agreed.
super nerdy. I wish you guys could see everything not in the camera focus right now.
All right, next question is from Archie. So Archie's asking, can you do effects also like halftone?
So a traditional halftone isn't truly achievable in a LUT because it's more of a filter itself that shapes things. Um, I'm trying to figure out the best way. If you guys give me a moment, I can I'll open a LUT file for you so you can actually see. It's really it's almost like a gradiented grid of small cubes, and that grid is what the camera software and any software that uses LUT is reading to
It's a good,
translate that. So
it's a good
so
point.
a
We should look
halftone
at it.
itself, because the halftone is traditionally made of dots, isn't something you can typically achieve with a LUT.
And then while we wait here, I just have a question for everyone in chat. What is your favorite LUTs that you have seen so far from what we have showed you guys? Because we showed you guys a lot of the default settings or default LUTs, and then Stephanie has more of the ones that are that you can download from Marketplace, basically. Vic says True Tone. True Tone is really
Vic, send me
nice.
your LUT. I want to try it out. A
So you
really
can get
cool feature
on
too is that you don't have
Marketplace.
to have a marketplace LUT. You can upload any LUT into here. So if you guys have LUTs from your favorite creators, if you have LUTs that you've made, you don't need to submit them through Marketplace to use them in Camera Hub. You can add them directly into the software.
Can you show them how they can do that?
I can. I'm gonna move. This is an OBS problem. Camera Hub just won't show the add menu. So give me 2 minutes. I'm gonna set this up so we can actually
Okay,
view me adding a LUT. And
awesome. Sounds
I'm gonna
good.
add the one that Vic made because I'm gonna
Oh, that's exciting.
Vic, send me your LUT.
We're doing this on, right here, live. This is the live demo,
You
so
have
we're
Vic
having the
on
setup.
Discord?
Okay. Oh yeah. Vic and I
Perfect.
go way back. All right.
You can wave back. That's awesome. There
Let's
goes
see.
Stephanie. We see you.
I
Okay,
say worst
sweet.
case, like send it to me, I can send it over.
Oh yeah, that works out. No, they already have the DMs ready. But sweet, awesome. All right, so while we wait for Stephanie to set up over here, let's see. I saw Chrome. That's awesome. So Chrome, I'm assuming this is like cool tone, right? Cool tone? Cool tone? Are you also a cool tone person, Maddie? I gotta get this. I gotta get. See, it is cool tone. Cool tone over warm tone.
Let's go. Hoa 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 fam.
Yes. Yeah, see? Stephanie's on the same side as me. It's just you,
I'm gonna make
James.
I'm gonna make my own LUT, my first one, and it's gonna be called Hoa Hoa Hoa. And I want all of you to download it when I make it. I promise I'll make it for you, okay?
Oh my gosh.
Sure,
Oh
Grado was here. I gotta leave.
my gosh.
Fun fact, y'all, I never saw a Twilight movie until like 2 years ago. I managed to avoid it my whole life, and then
Cool
all my
tone
friends and my
forever.
fiance found
The
out.
definition of cold.
They held me down. They taped me to the couch and they made me watch it.
Oh my
So
That
god.
thing is the whole movie is shot in cold.
Ooh, Sean likes vid
Ooh,
boost.
Vivid Boost, yeah.
Convert my photography, LUT to a cube, and port it into Camera Hub. I like that.
Vivid
Nice.
boobs.
Oh, this is really cool. This is awesome. I really like this. I'm just gonna be using this one, this current one. Was it Phil Noor? I love this one
And
so
one of the things
much.
too, like even like my neon sign here, like is how like I can help it bring out some of the more true colors of it, which is really nice. So like the blues, I can have it like be more a certain way. Of course, the yellows here, the orange, I can make it a certain way. So it's really handy if you want to make something pop a little bit more too. So I purposely try to do something more of like neon colors with that to see and with the LUTs. So and then of course all my event badges. Actually, it's not even all my event badges. This is like that's like a year and a half worth of one of events, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah. I'm like so afraid if I move my camera hub, everything's gonna be out. But y'all, I'm so proud because I also got, let's see if this will work. I had a 3D printer yesterday because my old one broke.
Oh,
Let's
So we get to
go.
print brand new cool things for Marketplace. We have a lot of really cool makers who make things for 3D printing. Oh no, I think I'm too close. Well,
That's
y'all, 3D
awesome.
printing is so fun.
yeah. Y'all can see area. That's my DDR pad. It's just backwards.
Wait, DDR. Oh my god.
You play
I
DDR backwards?
I
That's impressive.
no, I bought that. That thing came from Poland. Okay, it was very exciting. I've been playing DDR since 2001, maybe longer than some of y'all in
Dude,
chat have been
Jasmine, you should
alive.
see Jasmine. Jasmine's a beast.
Yeah, Jasmine and I need to play DDR together. All
That'd
right.
be fun.
So
I-
we're gonna try this live, guys. But I did get the LUT from Vic. So if y'all are ready, I can show you the process that is to add any .cube file into LUTs.
Here we go.
Let's see it.
Okay. All right. I think I'm in the right setting, right? You guys can see me?
Yeah.
Oh,
You're
perfect.
good.
Okay. So again, we're inside Camera Hub on the effects tab. LUTs has its section. And right now I have it set to off. I've been showing you guys and cycling through all the really fun LUTs so far, but I'm going to go down to this button that says add. I'm going to click the little arrow and it gives me a lot of options. Elgato, it shows me folders of pre-installed LUTs, Marketplace downloads, and Marketplace. And what that means is that the 5 pre-installed LUTs that come with Camera Hub are going to be in this first folder. The second folder is going to contain all of the LUTs I've ever downloaded on Marketplace. So for any reason I've ever accidentally deleted them from here, I can always re-add them back from here. And if I want to add new LUTs for Marketplace, I'll click this third button. But if you can see this next section, it says custom, my LUT files, add LUT file. And this is what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here, I'm going to hit add. and navigate to my desktop, and this is the cube that I got from Vic. Whoa. There we go. Okay. And I'm gonna put it up to 100%. So you guys can see this is really cool. Vic it's a lot of contrast. It's really make the dark colors pop. The warms aren't too overly warm, but the cools are also finding a cool pop. So you can see my blue light here and how it really glows. This is what did you call a soft light by Vic, which this is really nice, Vic. I actually think I'd probably run this in a much higher contrast than the others. This is at 82%. And I think that this is really nice. So again, anytime you want to add those customs. Now, if I go to my LUT files and I open it, it's going to see every custom file that I've ever added in here. So I don't have to constantly track down old emails. I personally purchased a LUT from a website years ago, and I constantly have to go to that old email and find it and re-download it. So it's all going to store here in the Camera Hub folder for customs. So you can always go back, and again, if you've accidentally removed it, you can see there's a little X that pops up. You can just go back into this ad and re-add things. And then earlier, James did mention about changing thumbnails, resetting thumbnails, or even using a snapshot. So like I've got my camera right now. I'm going to go down here. I'm going to say use snapshot.
Oh, do it.
Oh, did it work? And then there we go. All my images are now uploaded using the snapshot. Sorry, Sean. He's gone.
Bye, Sean.
I'm
You
resetting.
can always go back. You
Sean,
can
come
always go
back.
back.
There we go. That's awesome. So I don't store my LUTs in Excel. You know what, Maddie? I just need lookup tables on top of lookup tables. There we go.
Really cool example.
Yeah, it is almost an HDR in a way. Color grading to me is the best way I really like to think about it. It's it's a way you're applying a color filter or a math filter, because in some cases these may not be fully filtering the color, but pulling out some aspect within the LUT itself, and that's going to be uh, the change, right, that you're going to see happen here in the software. Vic, this is my new main. Everyone's asked me what my favorite is. My favorite is Vic's soft light, and I'm gonna bully her to get it on Marketplace.
Oh my gosh. I know
She already
Vic saw us
said. She
down.
said, she's like, I guess I can let Stephanie help me at it for y'all to use.
Yeah, I love Vic. Wait, here we go.
Yes.
I'm too tired to hand heart. I don't. If I do it my way, then that's like the boomer way, and
The boomer
everyone
way?
does it the
It's like
weird,
this, right?
way now.
Is this the way?
This is like the boomer way, right?
Oh, really? I always did mine like this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Other, what is it? I always forget
Is this one?
one you crush
Yeah,
your
but
fingers.
now there's like y'all, I'm pushing 40, so this is
There you go. Yeah.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh. All right. Sweet. And then I think that's pretty much it about LUTs, right? So is there anything else you want to mention, Stephanie?
I'm gonna try to just real quick open one in Photoshop, because for those curious who want to know what it looks like, I'm gonna see if I can get it to
Ooh, that's gonna be great. That'll definitely be
behave.
great
So
to
let's
see.
see.
And also, for anyone who has any questions in chat, just a little reminder, please make sure to use the command to get your questions queued up into our little system here. That way we can actually show it on the stream right here. And as for the giveaway, there is a Facecam Mark II giveaway, so stay tuned because it'll happen sometime throughout the stream. And we'll give you a keyword, and all you have to do is just type that keyword in chat, and you'll be entered to win a Facecam Mark II. There'll be one winner, one lucky winner.
Guys, mute. Just kidding, it's not that.
You scared me. Oh my gosh, you actually scared me. I looked down just to
It's not
check, and
that.
you
It's not
made me
that.
look.
Not
You
that.
made me look.
It's not that.
Oh my gosh. Okay, sweet. I see that we do have a question, so we go ahead and answer this really quick before we start off. We do have a few more questions actually. So first one's gonna be from Vic. Are you all using virtual cam for the LUTs?
So yes, you have to use the Elgato virtual camera to apply the LUT. So if you are selecting, for example, like say I'm using a Facecam Neo, and if you select Facecam Neo as your webcam, like say in Discord, Teams, it will not work. So yes, you have to make sure to select Elgato virtual camera. The way we're doing it for this stream, for example, like Stephanie and I are switching between our desktops and applying the LUTs, is we're just using OBS. But we are still having the Elgato virtual camera in OBS virtual camera to achieve what we're trying to showcase here for you guys. But you don't have to do that normally. You can only select Elgato virtual camera to apply your LUT.
Awesome. And then we have a next question. Next question is going to be from Swampy. So Swampy's asking, is the camera hub compatible with non-Elgato cameras like a Logitech 922, for example? So that'll be no. You do need to have and use an Elgato webcam.
Yeah, it's the same way our webcams won't work on the Logitech software, right? It's
Hmm.
gonna be native to our hardware, unfortunately.
And then next question. Oh, this is a really good question. It's by Chance to Techie. Is there an advantage to using a LUT in Camera Hub versus using it natively in OBS?
No, it just comes down to preference. And how you want to set it up. This just gives it an option where now, so of course you're limited to only using it for OBS prior, right? So with this, you're able to, I guess one of the benefits is you're able to use it in multiple softwares actually. So that
Mhm.
is that benefit where instead of having to go to OBS and turn on the virtual camera, you can sit, excuse me, you can simply just go into Camera Hub, turn the LUT on, right? And then of course in those different software, just simply select your Elgato virtual camera. So there is that benefit, but procedure-wise or, like, color-wise, there's no beneficial factor between the 2. Yeah. That is yeah, exactly. You still have to use a software of some sort, so I didn't wanna say, like, you didn't have to run OBS, but I feel like it's a lot more user-friendly if you've never I mean, you have to know OBS to actually apply a lot. Like, if you ask, I bet you if you asked, like, 5 out of the 10 OBS user how to apply a lot, they would likely not know how to, where our software is very easy, where literally just a couple of clicks.
Mhm. And two, I mean, like James said, right? It's gonna work across all the board on the software. But if you're a person who also has multiple profiles or scenes or what have you in your OBS environment, maybe you run your own OBS, but then you work for maybe a community stream and you stream for them and you do for ethics. This just puts it so you're not having to constantly reset up that source and reset up that LUT individually in OBS each time you switch one of those. It applies it directly to the camera. And again, going back through that virtual camera in OBS so that you don't have to do this up in OBS. It all manages it through the software, like James said. So I personally, when I broadcasted previously, I would broadcast for like 4 different accounts because I was doing a lot of collegiate league esports. And every time I did one of those, I had to switch profile. I had to switch maybe I had a profile that would have a 5-minute delay. I had a profile that had a 20-minute delay. I had a profile that had no delay. And I had a profile for a specific, other account that we ran that was like the B account. And every time I was going to go to one of those different streams or different profiles, I had to make sure all my settings were the same. Sometimes I cheat. I do JSONs that's really advanced, but again, the LUTs being done in the OBS, it's great. It's just a lot of work. So this kind of takes that work out of it.
Yeah, a lot more
It was a really
user-friendly
heavy
for
answer. Sorry,
sure.
y'all.
No, it's actually
No, you
like, when I started thinking about it out loud and trying to explain it, I'm like, "Actually, a lot more user-friendly than OBS," because, yeah, like, I'm just comfortable with OBS, so if I had like, what? Not everyone's comfortable with OBS.
Yeah,
yeah.
I think I've used OBS for about 10 or 11 years. So
Oh,
I
wow.
forget sometimes too that like people have maybe they're not familiar with OBS Studio, they're more familiar with Slav, so they're more familiar with the different streaming software. But there's so many great advanced controls that you can do with OBS, and so that's one of the cool things with the virtual camera.
Agreed.
Yes, it would work with Meld. You're right.
And then we have a next question from T-Bear. T-Bear's asking, does 2.0 change anything with prompter? So yes, we will be talking, it's just like smaller improvements here and there, but we will be talking more about that later this stream. So stay tuned for that. And then next question is from iNet. They're asking, or they just don't understand virtual cameras. Can we explain what virtual cameras are to iNet?
Yeah. So a virtual camera essentially is it in a sense makes your operating system see a secondary webcam potentially, or depend, like we'll just say secondary webcam. So you will typically have multiple sources, or you'll have your main source, right? So for example, I'm using a Facecam Neo. So if I go into like Zoom or Teams, it's going to give me an option to select Facecam Neo, right? A virtual camera will allow you, for example, to allow you to do different things or modifications to it, to almost like intercept the image and do stuff to it. So, for example, in Camera Hub, we use the virtual camera so we can apply several different things. So, for example, let's say I want to apply a background blur. So, with the virtual camera, like the raw feed, it won't adjust the raw feed to it. You need some kind of it's portraying it all via software because he's not physically changing anything physically on the camera. It has to be done via software. So, like say I want to apply a blur, right? If I select my virtual camera, I'm able to apply a blur. Now, if I just had my Facecam Neo selected normally, this blur would not be applied whatsoever. It would just be a raw feed like this, a raw feed, right? So this is the difference. So you'll have an option via like a so Windows, for example, will see a secondary webcam, even though it's not a physical second webcam, your computer will see two webcams. So that is the main benefit of a virtual camera where you're able to do more modifications via software, right? Instead of physically changing the device, which of course no one's going to be doing that. And of course you're likely going to be damaging something. So where yeah, it's all via applied via software. So it just makes it a more user friendly and you get a lot more control and power and benefits you can do to your camera feed. Hope that makes sense. If you don't, if that doesn't make sense, let me know. I can go into more details.
Alright, sweet. I think that was a really good explanation. So hopefully that helped. They said thanks. Oh, awesome. That's good. Alright. Next question is gonna be from was it underscode? Does Camera Hub have full parity between Windows and Mac, or is there anything major we can't do on Mac?
The only thing I could think of at the moment that immediately comes to mind is effects. Now, I know we were exploring that. Of course, there's no timeline. Unfortunately, I know we don't typically talk about stuff. But I know that's something we were trying to explore is getting effects working on M1 Max, M1 and higher, of course. But that is the only thing that sticks out to me immediately. With Camera Hub, you need to use an NVIDIA GPU right now for Windows to apply, like, for example, the background effect, like this background blur. But that would be, for the most part, the major difference between the two at the moment that I could think of. Let's see, I'm missing something, Stephanie, that you might think of. But I think the thing that
Uh,
sticks up to me is the effects.
Yeah. And just real quick, because I see the Linux comment. Unfortunately, no, we don't natively develop for Linux just because of the time and resources it does to port for Linux support as well. So we'll never say never, but our primarily with all of our software, it's going to be Mac and Windows.
Yeah, correct. Software wise, now of course you can still use our webcam because it is a UVC device, but correct. Software wise, there's no software support.
And what we mean by that too is that we're actively developing in those environments and we're actively QAing in those environments. Just because we say no doesn't mean someone hasn't found a way to make it work, but it's just not something that's being supported by us directly in terms of Linux.
True.
And then real quick, because while we're talking about it, for those of you guys who are on Windows systems, Windows 10 will be end of life in October.
Oh
Because
seven.
of that, our team is starting to focus development more for Windows 11 only. So if you're on a Windows 10 computer, it's not going to be us, but just consider looking at getting your system upgraded into a Windows 11 system. Now, I'm still using 10 as well. I will probably do it soon.
What?
I was on Service Pack 2 until that ship sank. I see everybody out here saluting you guys. Like when you love an OS, you hold on to it. But yeah, I think a lot of people, a lot of people, a lot of companies, a lot of software developers, a lot of people are starting to make that transition where they're no longer actively developing in a QA for 10. So things will work on 10, but we're not developing them with 10 in mind. We're developing them just with 11 in mind moving forward. So, uh,
You wanna know a fun fact about Windows is to this day, Windows 11 still uses the Vista kernel.
Oh my god.
guys, I don't have my glasses right now, so I can't do the anime little sheen
Oh,
push
but
up
we do. We
nose
both
of the
have
bridge.
glasses.
So since Windows Vista, Windows 8, 8.1,
Oh,
10, and
I
11
skipped
all
8.
use a Vista. Oh, well, that's good for you. Uh, 8 was okay. I'm getting a little bit off topic. 8 was designed for the Surface, right? Because that was like in Windows Mobile Phone, so it had like it was all the squares, and the 8.1 introduced like back to desktop environment. But anyways, that's a tangent.
We're here to nerd out about operating systems.
Alright, we have 3 more questions currently. So next question is from Underscode again. Does Camera Hub have? Wait, no, sorry. This was already asked. 1 second. There's one more question from Underscode, but it's gonna be after this one. So, Halmosilo is asking, can you stack LUTs?
Not currently.
Ooh.
So
One at a
I think I
time.
know what you're asking because in OBS you can add LUTs repeatedly to a single source
Yeah.
and change them. But right now, the way Camera Hub reads the software is it's actively selecting one LUT source and applying that value percentage from that one LUT. That's not to say in the future we won't have that added in, but right now at launch it's just one singular LUT at a time supported. So you're not going to be able to stack them.
Sweet. And then next question is gonna be from
Oh,
Underscode.
real quick.
Oh,
Alex,
go ahead,
don't
go
be
ahead.
afraid. If it's been asked, just still ask it. It's not a don't be afraid to ask a question. So by all means, please, if you're not,
No, yeah, if
don't
you
be
guys
afraid to ask a
Yeah, if you guys
question.
have any questions about Camera Hub 2.0, ask away. Use the little command that we can queue up for you. But the one that I will say is that if it's a support question, support related question, that does need to go through the support team so they can go ahead and log that and look into the issue for you. We can't help you with support questions live on stream. And also, any questions about potential future products, also questions we will have to skip. But besides that, if you have any questions like, what are LUTs? How can I install, was it LUTs? Stuff like that, ask away. All right, let's see. Next question is going to be from Underscode. Is there any latency in the virtual camera?
Mm, I don't. There might be maybe like a half a millisecond, but nothing you won't notice. Like when I watch it in real time, I don't even think there is, to be honest. But sometimes there's always because it is software. But you will not to the naked eye, no. Just to be So you will not notice a difference.
Awesome. The next question is going to be from Petunia Gal. My computer isn't compatible with Windows 11 and I don't have money for a new one. Will I lose the ability to use some things anytime soon?
Oh, wait, I accidentally
No.
hit enter before I said
So
that. So no, you're fine.
yeah, so we're not purposely we just at the end of the day, I mean, for the most part, there's some things that are obviously different between Windows 10 and 11, but for the most part, it should work. Windows 11 though introduces some new things to it, which of course in the future may potentially break it, but that's like in the future. That's of course if they change stuff. I not to get to the nitty gritties, but I know they, for example, like some registry files in Windows 11 are completely different than Windows 10, and so it's unfortunately since they're not going to update Windows 10 anymore, those changes won't apply.
Mhm. And that means we're not blocking things from working from 10. It just means that things may break more frequently if you're on 10 when 10 gets end of life later this year. I believe it's in October. But again, I'm on 10 right now. Everything is mostly okay, except I broke something earlier. That was my fault.
I'm
Um,
also on 10.
yeah. Yeah,
What?
my coworker on my team is also on 10 and they've even yelled at us. Our executives are like, "Get on 11." And I'm thinking to myself, "But then how will we know if something doesn't work on 10?" So that's my
I guess I
reasoning
gotta
for
leave.
staying on it longer. So, see, I'm just malicious compliance. No, I'm just kidding. But we're always here, guys, to support you if you ever are curious or nervous or wondering about anything. When stuff like this happens, message us. We're always happy to make you guys feel comfortable, right? Because we are also using our products and we are also in the same situations y'all are in our home setups. So
3.1, let's go. But
yeah,
oh my
we're
gosh,
the
I'm
product
legit.
testers too, Brendan. We really are.
James is gonna be like,
I'm
the next time
legit.
I message with James, I'm like, James, I'm having issues. He's like, did
I'm
you
gonna I
update
say
to Windows
upgrade
10? Yeah, Windows 11. Did you update to
11.
Windows 11?
Did you update to Windows 11?
Oh
Next
yeah,
time Jasmine an
everybody's out
issue.
here flexing how old they are with their OG Windows, and I love it. The first computer I
Windows
ever
me.
built was on Service Pack 2, Windows XP. I was
Windows
in
me.
2006. Oh, Windows ME, I remember that.
Oh
Millennium
my
Edition.
gosh.
Uh,
Oh
Yep.
my. Okay.
you
Next.
guys are amazing. They're gonna get back to us later. Why are y'all talking about operating systems for 20 minutes?
Windows
Sorry.
me.
All right. Next question from Vic. Will a Facecam work on Nintendo Switch 2?
Oh, so if we are once we get our hands on a Switch 2, we're gonna update our documentations. I don't think if they confirm that third-party USB device or USB webcams will work, then yes. Of course, you just never know because, like for example, like Sony has it has to be Sony Pacific licensed webcams. But they announce third-party webcams work, then yes, it'll work for sure because it's just a standard UVC device. There's no proprietary kind of behind that. So as long as they say UVC devices or third-party webcams work, it will work. For the it should. It should. Because Facecam MK2, well, I should say Facecam MK2 in particular, because I know Facecam MK2 works over USB 2.0, and that's another thing too, is it comes down to what the USB spec is going to be. Because if it's a USB 2.0 spec, right, that is, it just comes down to what they officially announce. And so once we get our hands on it, we'll have more answers for sure. So unfortunately, nothing anytime soon.
All right. Next question is from Matty. Are all lookup tables free? If not, do the creators of the LUTs get a kickback?
Yes, we have a kickback program for the marketplace for creators, which that means is the split between sales for you, the maker, and us for Elgato for hosting and managing your products. If you message me, I can talk to you more about that later, but you absolutely can list your products for cost. I believe Harris Heller, who we just put some LUTs on for today, has the first ones up for 99 cents a LUT. All of our Elgato ones are set to free because we really want everybody to be able to enjoy them. But we have a couple more makers that are getting products with us later this week, and I anticipate a couple of those will also be for sale. So if you want to talk to me more about the marketplace program, go ahead and shoot me a message on here or join our Discord in the link that Jasmine just called out in chat. And you can message me. I'm Clover there. I'm Clover in this chat, and I'll help you out.
Awesome. Thank you, Stephanie. And then next question, let me see. Oh yeah, no, we can definitely answer this, Alex, just because this was part of like the little Reddit update here. Let me see. Oh, hello. Why is it not showing up for us here? Oh yeah, well, I'll just go ahead and read this question. Unless will it highlight? Okay. It looks like the
I'm
questions might be a little it
broken.
might have broke. It might have
No,
broke.
scroll up. I'm sorry. Prompter's here to save us, you guys.
No,
What you
well, it's
do,
not
Jasmine?
scrolling up. I see it. I still see it. It's just not showing up on the stream anymore. You know what? Maybe it's this, huh? Let me see. You know,
I
selected.
missed half of y'all's chat about these operating systems.
Okay.
We got some boomers in here. What's up,
So,
guys?
question from Alex. I've recently seen that things are wrapping up with Epoch Cam, and if it can be answered, can I still use it if I have the Pro app?
Yes, so I can answer that. So yes, we are obviously, as you many of you may be aware, is Epoch Cam is no longer being serviced by us. It is currently end of life. So what that means is it's no longer receiving updates. However, it is still completely functional inside Camera Hub. We have no plans to remove it from Camera Hub, so you'll be able to still use it. It has been removed from the App Store from iOS. However, one thing you can still do, and I have tested this myself, you can still go back to your app history and click on the search. You can go to your app history and the Epoch. You can type in Epoch Cam or click on purchase if you purchase it and re-download it. So something to note: if you do accidentally delete it or get a new device and need to re-download it, you can still re-download it, but there's no plans to remove it from Camera Hub. So you will still be able to use it. TLDR.
Awesome. And then next question is from Jose Lo. And they're asking, oh, this works. Are you planning to use any, I believe they meant to say AI, on this type of products? Like, for example, to read movement or blur specific objects or change faces?
Ooh. I mean, we do use some AI stuff. I mean, we can't talk about anything like coming per se, of course, in the future, but we do use AIs for a couple things already. For example, like with our Camera Hub, we use voice sync, which uses a type of AI that allows, and we'll go into in a little bit, of course, later, but it allowed you to do phrase by phrase reading, for example. So when you're reading a certain script, it automatically scrolls based off of how you're reading it and the speed you're reading it, which is using AI. So in Camera Hub, yeah, we are utilizing AI in a couple of different ways. We're also using it in our audio software. That's a whole different discussion. But yeah, we are definitely exploring ways to utilize AI for us. Without also shoving it in your face as well. We try to make it more useful than more than anything. So we definitely know a lot of people are getting annoyed with the word AI used often. So we do try to find a way that we could utilize it, but not be annoying with it too.
hmm
All right,
I think
since
too,
we.
and a
Oh,
lot
go
of
ahead,
our
Stephanie.
AI is machine learning. Yes, yeah, Saskoist, Saskoist. Oh my god, I'm gonna say it wrong.
It was
Sasco.
Sasco. Sasco
Okay.
first, I believe.
Sasco first? Oh my gosh.
Yes, and yes, we do I mean, you could say it's not, but we don't use any kind of live scale LLMs. So everything's internal. So you don't have to have an internet connection. None of your information is being shipped out. It's all internal. So that's something to definitely note. Where yes, it's using an AI, but we're not using your information to train your information to a different feature. So voice focus, voice sync is not we're not capturing that information and sending it off for it to be trained. It is all internal and locally. And what we do, if we do find issues, we actually will typically talk with these different companies and find ways that we can actually improve the AI and with the issues that we run across. But we don't have to do any kind of real time internet connection to utilize these features, which I really like.
Alright, so on that topic about, when we mentioned voice sync a little bit earlier, let's go ahead and go into prompter and voice sync here because we do have a lot to still go into right now. We were just mainly talking about LUTs right there and, installation of Marketplace. So I think it's time to kind of move on to the next update. Very exciting updates that we have for you guys. So James, you want to go ahead and take it away?
Yeah, so we are covering I don't have the sheet pulled up, so I had some stuff pulled up. So the next thing we're talking about is do we want to talk about voice sync? Okay, so let me switch over here. Oh, did I break it? Oh yeah. Oops. There we go. Sweet. So let me bring over everything. Sweet. So we are going to cover now some prompter stuff. I should have put a script in, but I got it deleted on accident. Test script. Hello world. Is it popping up on my prompter? So perfect. So what we're doing here is a couple of things. As you see here, I probably should have got the default script. Let me do that real fast. Actually, I just realized that. So I can actually demonstrate. Yeah, Vic, I'm very yeah, I've been talking with the team about that. I am purposely doing this on purpose. This is not what you're experiencing. This is more of me doing it on purpose. But I definitely am familiar with what you're dealing
Oh,
with now.
Brendan's out here with the lorem ipsum in chat. Thanks, Brendan.
Yeah, right. Don't worry, I should
I'm
have
so triggered by that text as I stare at it all the
I
time.
know, me
I
yeah,
feel that.
right. Mm,
For those of you guys
only
who've
one.
never worked in marketing or copying or any type of a place where you have to do placeholder text, lorem ipsum is kind of a default industry standard for placeholder text. And I
You guys
panicked
can
when I
just
saw it popped up. I honestly thought prompter broke. I was like, what is it?
yeah, 1 second. So I'm starting back I'm restarting my camera hub to default so I can actually, um oh, I reset everything. Shoot, that's a okay, there we go. Sweet. So now I have the default script back. I just wanna have this so you can actually see it. So here we go. And let me make it so you guys can actually see it too. Boom, boom, boom. I think that's perfect. So let me just demonstrate real quick for those who are not familiar with voice sync. So prior with prompter, there was a couple of things you had to do to read your script. You could play it where it'll automatically scroll based off of your scroll speed you have. So you can adjust the different scroll speed. This is like when it first initially came out. Um, you could also manually scroll. So if I went to my prompter, so let me go to my prompter. Mute your mic, whoever's typing.
Oops, sorry.
Let me see. So if I go to my prompter, which word is it at technically? I don't remember where I put the position. It's right here. Perfect. I could also scroll manually. So if like someone would normally just, I could so let's say for example, you can even adjust opacity to blend text into your background content, keep experimenting, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Well, one of the biggest feature requests we had was it would be really nice if the script would automatically scroll based off what you read, right? So what you could do is if you use voice sync here. Oh, got saw the keyboard. I just deleted my uh camera hub install, so now things are a little bit messed up. I just see here. So let me just download this real quick. So this is where I said if you're using an NVIDIA GPU, this is where it's nice too. If you need to obviously the dependencies, it'll automatically just prompt that you download it. So it's going to download it real quick. Perfect. But that's done. Now I can choose the microphone I want to use. So I'm going to choose the mic in from an XLR dock here. I can still hear you type. And then I'm going to start reading. So for example, oh wait, perfect. And one thing you'll notice on the very top right of my prompter screen is you'll notice that it says active. So you're ready to read. So right now I'm talking, right? But it's not scrolling. So if I start talking now, so ready to roll the camera, whether it's a video script or talking points, Camera Hub and Prompter give you full control over your delivery. Here is text mode. Prompter automatically mirrors anything you enter onto screen. So, and I actually sort of gave away some of the one of the latest features here, but that's voice sync. So let me actually go back up and do this again because I was actually showcasing a new feature that I want to first just give you the basic rundown here. So let me start over again here with voice sync without the, for example, the highlight text here, right? So ready to roll camera, whether it's a video script or talking points, camera and prompter give you full control over your delivery. Here in text mode, prompter automatically mirrors everything you enter onto the screen. So as you see, the words are all bright there, but now with highlight text, and when I read it, it's more of a phase by phase, and you can actually see the difference in me reading the script. So it helps you be more on track. So ready to roll the camera, whether it's a video script or talking points, camera and prompter give you full control over your delivery. Here in text mode, prompter automatically mirrors. If I stop, so as you see, it's on automatically mirrors anything you enter onto the screen. So makes it a lot more easier to follow. So especially like if it starts scrolling, 'cause, I have personally as well got a little bit lost in the sauce when I'm reading it. So this is definitely a nice quality of life feature that we've introduced. So um, that is voice sync. We've also added additional languages, which was really nice. So for example, we introduced Finnish, Greek, Japanese, Korean, Polish, Romanian, Russian, Swedish, Turkish, and Vietnamese. Japanese is currently, I believe, not added or being added or being looked into. But that's one of the things is we are constantly looking into potentially adding additional languages when we can as well. So
I think
uh
they're QAing Japanese.
got it.
We have to go back in and make 1 or 2 more edits. So if you are a native Japanese speaker, it may be live, but we're gonna make an update to the Japanese language.
So those are just additional languages. I don't have the full list, but I know additional like a language of Spanish is already supported. German, if I'm not mistaken. So there's a couple of others, but yeah, those were just the additional that we have added to voice sync. Let me see what else we did. Um, one of the things too, which is a quality, like it's just overall performance, just performance tweaks to voice sync. Um, so just we're constantly trying to make voice sync more and more responsive, and clean it up and make it better in any way possible. So we had some additional performance increase to that. We also did, let's see, we can also one thing that's actually really interesting too is you can actually now, if I'm not mistaken, let me see, double check this. You should be able to. So let's say if I go to this microphone, I should be able to switch microphone. Let me actually hook up my webcam. You weren't able to do this before. This is a very niche thing, but this is actually very handy, especially if you have like multiple people trying to read a script, right? So now, as you saw, I actually switched to my headset microphone. I'm no longer using the XLR dock. So I did not pause it. It's still reading. As you see, it still says active on my prompter. So if I start reading now, right? I'm sorry, I keep doing on XLR. My mic's hitting the actual microphone. On script, while maintaining natural eye contact with your audience, with familiar interface, Camera Hub makes it easy to organize your text. Paste in text or enter as you go. So, that is one thing that we've also introduced that I thought was is really nice, where if you are using multiple people to talk, in the software, you could, in real time, switch it over. So, before you would have to stop it, redo it, or let's say on accident too, let's say you start reading into your microphone and you were like, "Hey, why is it not reading?" You can now actually, "Oh, let me actually click my microphone." Great. Separate content into readable chapters. Once your text is entered, oh, there you go. So, I was reading off my, preview window, so it's like I'm, like, doing it I'm, like, handicapping myself by watching the delay on the stream, but yeah, so there you go. Is there anything else that you want me to cover on that, Jasmine? I think I got, for the
I think
most
that
part, what
was
voice sync is.
yeah, I believe that
Uh
was
Also, I mean, there's a lot of other things you can see, some other quality light things. For example, you can adjust where you want to read the positioning. So if you like to adjust it a little bit more centered, right? You can adjust that. Obviously, those appearances you can adjust via text and everything as well. Um, if you get lost in the sauce, for example, and you have a camera, right, you can turn on the overlay. So then as you see, there's a little camera icon. You can adjust that uh, to actually make sure you have proper eye contact with your camera too. So that's one thing I really like. Pro tip, you can adjust the horizontal margins. So for example, if you catch yourself like your eyeballs like scanning left to right often when you're reading your script, you can adjust these settings right here so you're constantly just like forcing yourself to look more towards the center every single time like this. So when you are reading it, if I start from the beginning again, right? So if I go from here, go back to the very beginning, let me make sure I'm yeah, ready to roll the camera, whether it's a video script or talking points, Camera Hub and Prompter give you full control over the delivery. So, just makes it very centered as you see there, but then that way too, my eyes are just constantly just only reading, uh, just in that section. So, just a little pro tip on that. Yeah, moving Proctor back further, a couple of different things you can do. One thing I just found the easiest, it's just definitely just making it more thin and narrow like this. And of course, just adjusting the font to your liking. So, um, one thing I will say, a big shout out, and this helped me a lot too, is we did introduce an open dyslexia font. So, a dyslexia font. So, if you do find yourself getting lost in the sauce too, this makes it very easy for you. And honestly, you may not realize it. If you find yourself just reading it and having trouble reading it, this actually may help you. I have found myself too where I've just put the script on or this font, and it's helped me just be a lot more natural and fluent when I read my scripts. So, um, which is really cool. Um, so it's something that I will say shout out to our beta testers. Our beta testers actually gave us that feedback for that, and we actually were able to introduce that.
W beta testers. Woo!
Yeah, Brendan's game, it's a free um it's actually really cool. Dyslexic font is actually really cool. They're open for it to be used privately and commercially, which is really cool. I thought like they just want to make it the font just more acceptable for people that have to, that are dealing with that. So I thought it was a super big W for those guys and that company to do that. Where they just really want a font that's just more universally welcome for for that.
All right.
And yeah,
Sweet.
back to my full camera.
I believe we do have some questions here. So it's actually
Oh, you can see I forgot. Yeah, you can see the microphone I was using too. I just switched to this one here. Now,
actually
in the Twitch chat, it's
mm.
still my XLR microphone, but for voicing, I switch back and forth just to demonstrate that.
There we go.
All right. No, I don't think I saw any questions queued up here. So just a reminder, guys, if you have any questions, make sure to use the Q command. So use that exact command right there. That way it'll get queued up in our chat. And we have some other questions, but it's not related to our current topic. So we're going to go ahead and move on and answer those questions near the end of the stream. But otherwise, if you guys have any questions about, support and stuff like that, please make sure to head over to support. They're going to be the best ones, our best team to help you with any support related questions. And if there's any questions that's kind of like, was it about future potential product questions, we can't answer those questions will be skipped. Yeah, let's see. All right, next crew, let's go ahead and move on to, I believe, Facecam Neo, because Facecam Neo gets tint control. So James, you want to go ahead and show that since we're using Facecam Neo right now? And for those of you guys who are
Yes.
curious, I'm using Facecam Mark II, James is using Facecam Neo, and Stephanie is using Facecam Pro.
So let me actually fix this real quick. I need to put my camera back into this. I forgot. So let me actually put my virtual camera on. Now I might take up the whole screen, so I'm sorry if I take up the whole screen here. Let's see. 'Cause I had to put the so you can actually see the difference, right? So where is it? Uh-oh. It's right there we go. All right, cool. We got it. Sweet. Okay, let me actually make this a little bit bigger so we can actually see. And then, of course, all I know, camera hub is not being shown right now. So let me just fix that. Perfect. So one of the things that we've introduced for Facecam Neo is tint control. So this is available via a free firmware update. So to simply get that started, all you would need to do is as soon as you update to Camera Hub 2.0, uh, I will say this is a huge shout out to our developers. And one thing that I don't know a lot of people do, but for people like me that actually care about this stuff, I think it's super cool. One of the things that we do with actually our firmware files is when you install, for example, camera. The reason why you need Camera Hub 2.0 is the firmware file is part of the install directory or that file. So you're not going to the web and downloading that firmware file, and it just eliminates that one extra step of something failing. So that's just a little quick little fact that I do love that our development team does. So you would click on here. Now I've already done it, but normally if you didn't, and you would see an option to update firmware. You would click update firmware and you will see a new option to do that. Now, let's say for some crazy reason you do not see that and you've updated Camera Hub 2.0. You can manually check as like I just did by holding control on your keyboard. Now I don't know if that does happen, contact our support team. But you can always manually check, which I like to do, is hit hold control, click on the settings, let go of control, and click on update firmware. And it'll let you know if you're on the latest. So once you update the latest, you'll have the options then, as you see here, to do your tick control. So from here, I can adjust to make it more pink. I can fix my greens and from there. So very nice when you want to achieve a certain color as well on top of your lot too, right? So if you want to, like, you can get into a lot of the nitty-gritty now of what you want your camera to look like. So right now, see, I have like a more like right now with me having more pink, you can see it's like a lot more pink on my skin. I'm like, okay, it's a little bit too much pink on my skin. Let me just adjust it right here a little bit more so I can get rid of that. And as you see now, it's more of my natural skin tone. So that is one thing that I think is really cool is that we will typically, if we can, introduce new features like tint control via firmware, where you don't have to purchase it. So you can get a product like Facecam Neo, you can have it for 6 months, and next thing you know, you have a completely new feature that's available for it, like tint control. So, and this is all just via if it's from feedback from the community, and of course, if it's possible via hardware, if we could do it, then by all means, we're going to look into updating via firmware and get it to do that. So, something that it was introduced with Camera Hub 2.0, and it is very powerful. So something to note, you must turn off the automatic white balance. Otherwise, what it will do is it'll try to set the temperature and tint for you automatically. And you can see the actual temperature balance, like the Kelvin level is set too. So the Kelvin is 5147. And of course, if I just turn it off, I can set it manually if I wanted to. So that's the one thing I do like about our camera software. Um, Note too, and this is actually a lot of people don't realize, is obviously you're not gonna like you may not be able to see your preview in here, right? A lot of people are gonna have their camera in OBS potentially. You can minimize it and then have like for example, like let's say I want to pull my OBS over, right? So I have my OBS over, and then from here I can adjust that you see in OBS now, all and of course in on stream too these different and I probably shouldn't have done it like crazy, but just for testing purposes, we're doing that. So yeah, I just completely messed up my settings. But yeah, that is tank control.
Awesome. I do see that we do have some questions here. So let me go ahead and bring these questions up for you, James. So this question's gonna be from, let's see, from Alex. Oh, is it not one? Alex is asking what features, if any, of Camera Hub 2.0 will work with the OG Facecam.
So LUTs will be the latest thing that we introduce that you'll be able to do. So you'll be able to really dramatically change your picture. So of course, if you haven't not seen it already, right? So if I put like for example this black and white LUT, this is the noir one, yeah, film noir. As you see here, it's very dramatic into the different colors here. So you'll be able to do this with the original face cam. So, and of course you can add your own LUTs, download new LUTs, and import any kind of third-party LUT as long as it's a cube or a .png file.
Awesome. Next question is from Archie. Archie's asking, what's the CPU usage for low-end PCs while streaming from using LUTs?
It's going to be no different than the Camera Hub software itself.
Yeah, so there's some requirements for that. It's very low. Right now, TPU wise, let me see. Would Camera Hub and VoiceSync still running? I still have VoiceSync running, I guess. I didn't pause it.
I just checked mine, and I'm whether the LUT is active or not, running between 6 to 8% CPU usage, and my GPU is hovering at around 5 to 8%. And I actually went with charcoal, which is I think probably technically our most intense looking LUT. So just kind of for the record, I tested this one just to see what its GPU usage was going to look like, and it really didn't spike. I think the natural fluctuation I saw is just Camera Hub itself that's going to fluctuate just a few percentage. So if you're already running Camera Hub just fine, it shouldn't behave any differently if you're using a LUT versus not.
Yeah, and if you want, you can switch to me real quick, Jadman. If you want to see more raw numbers too, I'm using a 5950X CPU and Camera Hub right now at the moment. Obviously my web browsers are taking most of my CPU. Camera Hub and OBS Studio with my webcams being pulled into are only using about like 5% max, 4% with the 5950X. RAM usage right now, I'm also using the AI background effects. So I'm using the LUTs and the AI background effect. So I'm using about 1 gig on that. But I have 64 gigs personally. So like that 1 gig isn't hurting me. So I mean, obviously, ideally you should have at least 8 gigs, and even then you should be fine. So and
It's
this
true.
is
I'm
me
also not
using
on a low end PC. I don't think you are on your build either. So it's obviously going to be different for you, Archie. Yours is probably going to eat up a little bit more. But it shouldn't be affected if you're already running Camera Hub.
no, it's not. I promise you, it's not a flex. I only had that much RAM just because of the
You know what? I just wanted all 4 of my sticks to light up.
James,
rendering.
your webcam, just so you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah. I will.
Okay, awesome. And we do
Yeah,
have a question
I'll
from
fix it.
YouTube by Ash. Can Camera Hub be used with a mirrorless camera as a webcam? If you want to talk
You
about
want me to
this one,
answer it?
James, for Camlink 4K, just in case.
So the question was, can you use a DSLR camera with Camlink 4K?
A mirrorless camera, yeah, as a
Yes,
webcam.
yes. So the biggest thing I would highly recommend is we actually have a compatibility page as well. We don't have every single camera. Is it just what is the command? It's just Camlink 4K. What's the command? To the prompter, the compatibility page.
Yeah, but so Ash, if you you need Camlink 4K for it to work with Camera Hub. So it won't just work with Camera Hub won't just be compatible with only your mirrorless camera. So you will need to actually have Camlink 4K to connect that to in order to use the software.
What's the
And then
commando to see the compatibility page? That's what I was curious about.
command I'm not too sure actually.
Okay, well,
Mhm.
I can Google real quick too. So yeah,
Oh, here
so
we
like
go.
what
I
Jasmine
found
was
it.
saying.
It's
Okay,
compatibility.
okay. So like what Jasmine was saying, yeah, you have to get the Camlink 4K. We have a list of webcams that we've tested, and along with the community. The biggest thing that you need to know is, as long as your camera, I mean, we suggest making sure your camera could do a clean HDMI output, right? And it can handle being on for over like 24 hours. Because one of the major things that happens with cameras, of course, is overheating. So that is one of the key things that you'll have to deal with. Now, you don't have to record for 24 hours. You just need to be able to have it, of course, show in the video feed for 24 hours, because it's just going to take the feed from your camera and via the HDMI cable into the cam link. That will then, of course, take your feed into your computer, and then your computer will see your DSLR camera or your mirrorless camera as just a webcam. You will just simply select Camlink 4K, and then your camera feed will come in. So, I actually Camlink right here. So you'll simply just connect your HDMI cable from, if you have a mini HDMI cable from your camera or normal HDMI, to the actual Camlink right here, and then via USB, you'll just plug it into your computer, and then your computer will just see your DSLR camera as a webcam. That's it.
Awesome. Sweet. And then next question will be from Apple. Can some LUTs be more resource intensive than others? I was under the impression that the load would be more or less uniform regardless of what's actually happening.
Yeah, it's not going to be any different. At its core, a LUT file is a .cube file, and the .cube files are very small in size. We're talking kilobytes. Maybe 1,000 kilobytes, 2,000. That's it. So
Yeah.
it's not going to really affect anything. The Camera Hub software itself is really going to be the thing that's taking over the resources based on how you're interacting with the features. So LUTs isn't going to change that for those of you who are worried about performance.
Oh, I like Maddie's thing. Yeah, if you need more RAM, you can also go download it. Dedicated WAN. Download more dedicated WAN.
Oh, some OG memes in here. Also, I think everybody got mad I called y'all boomers earlier. Y'all, I am a boomer, okay? I remember life before the World Wide Web. Okay? I still remember my
Me
first email
too. I
address
also
and
remember that.
my aim. Jasmine had to send me an email earlier, and I was like, I'm so sorry. This Gmail I made when I was 18. Like,
I was using Netscape before AIM. AOL. Netscape,
yeah.
So
then
I was like, no
AOL.
way, not
Netscape,
you,
then AOL.
Jasmine. How old do I
Send me
look?
your ICQ numbers. What's going on? I love it. No, see, it's okay,
AIM
guys.
chat, yes.
Oh,
AIM chat. Oh my gosh. Could you guys imagine
IRC?
like a
Oh,
filter for prompter that made the Twitch chat look like AIM chat? Ugh, be so great. We need to do
MIRC?
that
Oh my
for April
gosh.
Fool's Day next
There
year.
was like what? There was MySpace, AIM chat, and then when you went like hardcore gaming, it was like, what was it, TeamSpeak? I think it
MIRC.
was. There was
Yeah,
Ventrilo.
IRC. What was the one that started with Ventrilo? You guys remember Ventrilo?
Yeah, Ventrilo, yeah. No, and
Yeah, ICQ.
MIRC in particular too, like, IRC, I remember, like, that was super big. If you really remember OG gamers would remember GameSpy too,
Angel
before
Fire. Oh,
to
Ventrilo.
connect to Halo servers, you had to use GameSpy.
I love it. This is like a QuakeCon t-shirt, you guys. Like I've been
Neopets, internet
gaming
phone.
forever. I love
Oh,
this.
I
A
remember.
Neopets. Oh,
I remember like cell phones where it's like texting people costed money. Like it wasn't
Oh,
free as it was
Xfire.
now, right? And like the little like was it the little dials like the ting, I forget what those are called, but it's like you have to like
The rotary phones?
yeah,
yeah,
those.
yeah, the rotary. My
Yeah.
grandma had one of those. I always loved using it when I'd go to
Same,
her
it was
house.
fun. It was fun.
ASL. What's up?
Had a
37.
paper
She,
Oh my
her,
text.
god.
Texas.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my
Club
goodness.
Penguin. Was it Put Put? If you guys remember Put Put? It's like that
Your
cute little
first
card
Pokemon card
game.
was a base set Magic card. Let's
We're getting
go.
distracted.
Oh my god, we are. Sorry. You guys, what's going on today?
At least you know we're
Talking
all
about like
gamers. We're all gamers, no?
Oh
operating
my gosh.
system.
Real quick, just because I saw this too. Remember, like, yeah, I remember the moto noises. I remember trying to put a blanket over my desktop in the middle of the night so I wouldn't wake up my parents.
Do you remember telling your parents not to get on the phone so that you wouldn't get kicked off the internet? Pepperidge Farm remembers, y'all.
Oh
Dude,
my
yeah.
gosh.
I was like an avid Cartoon Network. They had like a bunch of games on Cartoon Network. I remember that. And so yeah, at night I would go on my computer, put a blanket over it just to connect and like just pray no one woke up and then I just remove it afterwards.
Oh my gosh. Or like when you want to stay up later and you like, you play on your like a Game Boy, right? Or DS
Yeah.
and you're just like under your blankets and then you hear someone open the door, you just immediately shut off, pretend you're asleep.
Yeah. Yep.
And then they'll do the smart thing where they'll pretend to close the door, but they're still in your room and then you get caught.
Good times. Good times. Okay. Anyways, next. What's the next thing we're talking
Oh
about?
yes, I think the
Yeah,
last thing we
yeah.
need to
What's
showcase
next
is
on the
window to
agenda?
prompter with Stream Deck. That's the last thing we need to showcase here.
Oh.
So you guys are gonna really like this one. This is like one of my favorite features here.
Okay. So let me show again a desktop and prompter. Let's see here. Okay. And we bring back camera home. Actually, I don't even need to bring my camera up. I just need to show you guys Stream Deck. So we introduce a new feature for Stream Deck, which is very handy for people that are constantly. Let me move this over so you can actually see everything, of course. Boom. And then so camera. There's a couple of things we've added. We've added LUTs, obviously, but one of the things we're going to be showing is the window to prompter. So window to prompter is very handy if you want to move a certain application to your prompter. So, for example, if I go into Camera Hub and I switch, actually, I need to switch my Camera Hub back to display mode. Actually, I guess I could just do it. I could have done that for my Stream Deck, but we'll switch it to display mode here. So now, of course, you see prompt is back as a normal display on my computer. When I hit this key, oh, I broke my camera hub. I hear you typing.
Oh, what? Oh, I thought I was muted.
Let me see. Pull back on my Stream Deck. Yeah, rest in peace, my camera hub. Let me pull it back up here. Okay. There we go. So now, so what I did, as you saw, is I simply had the app selected as Stream Deck, and as you see, it's on my Stream Deck or on my prompter now. So when I click it again, the nice part is it puts it back exactly the way the window was before. So I can choose, like for example, as you saw, I choose Stream Deck, right? And this is actually where it gets really, really cool. Actually, I can show you something in a second. Um, like, it's actually very handy with apps that have multiple tabs inside of it. So, like, yeah, so I have obviously streamed again. So if I click on it, right, it brings it over to. Oh, I think it's having a little trouble because I keep clicking that drop down because it's seeing that second window. So that's actually interesting. So for example, oh, 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 that could have been a leak, but we're not leaking it.
No
Look at
leaks!
that.
No leaks!
Look at those first couple of letter words. I can't click on that. But let's say I want to choose a different file. I could choose a different notepad file. And yeah, I was so close to pressing that key. Very close. I didn't though.
Whew.
But so then yeah, I can switch between. Let me see. What did that actually notepad say? I don't think there's anything. No leaks today. Okay, so now if I click that key, of course, as you see, it brings it over to my monitor. Oh, actually, it brought my whole. Yeah, it brought the just the blank one there. So you're able to select different kind of notepads from that, which I think is really cool. If you have like different kind of like files pulled up, so Uh, or actually, it's actually doing a new file, so that's interesting. So, oh wait, I don't have the right one selected. No leaks today. There you go. 'Cause I changed the file, so it pulls it up from your text inside. So, anyways, yeah, that could have been a fun leak.
I like the no leaks today file right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like, well, I had to change it, so I have the leak file and then I have a no leak file. So we're doing the no leak file.
I'm feeling so inspired to make new emotes for our channel of like one of our people like just spinning a leak around because it feels like it's
Oh, the
just
Hatsune
stereotypical for
Miku. That's like
nowadays.
such a old meme.
Yeah.
Way back. That's been living around for a very long time.
I should just start making like particular file names on purpose just to troll people, like Stream Deck XL Mark III. To skip Mark II. Just put, or Mark 5. Just put like some crazy name.
The
Like, whoa, what
the
happened to
biggest
Mark
thing
2,
I've
3, and
always wanted to
4?
do, and I will do this with my 3D printer, is I wanna take the Neo, but I wanna make it like a Fisher Price screen, where it's like,
Oh,
you know, like the big colorful toy buttons that almost looks fake, but it's a real functioning Neo. I wanna make that happen, so
Alright,
that's what we're
sweet.
leaking.
That's
Oop.
what we're really.
Yeah, baby's first, Stream Deck.
Aw. Alright, so I
I'm
believe
actually
that's
curious.
everything that we had
You
to
know what's
cover for
funny?
today. What's up?
That thing doesn't even, that file doesn't even leak anything. It just says, I just put XYZ.
Okay, okay. You trolled yourself.
I did. I was like, what's in this file? It just says XYZ. Got me
Alright.
good.
So because we're getting
This is
close to the
this is the file. Oh, never mind, never
end.
mind. We're not. Never mind. We're not on full me. Never mind. Never mind.
We can. Do you want them to show?
No, 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 no,
Okay.
no.
Well, I was gonna say the giveaway is not live. So type in
Ooh.
"Let's in chat" to enter for a chance to win a Facecam Mark II. There'll be one lucky winner. And like always, guys, if you're not already following us, and also if you're from YouTube, come to the Twitch chat. This giveaway is happening only on Twitch. So if you're watching this from YouTube, please come over to our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Elgato. Otherwise, you will not be able to enter to win. So you still have some time. The winner's not being drawn. Like right now, it's not being drawn like right now immediately. So you have some time to come over, log into your Twitch, yada yada. You have about like 5 minutes, right? Give or take 5 minutes. And I see a lot of people are already typing "Let's" in chat. So make sure to also follow us on Twitch. If you're not already following us on Twitch, hit that follow button.
You lose.
You will lose, actually. You will lose. You will forfeit your
We've
Yeah.
had
prize to the next
Like,
three.
follow, and
person.
subscribe. You guys know, just hit the follow, y'all.
We've had
Yeah.
3
We had 3
people who
people
won.
and did not follow, so we had to re-roll.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jasmine
So
will do it.
And stay here too. Don't disappear.
yeah, so make sure
It's one click.
it's just one click. All you gotta do is hit that follow button. Just follow us on Twitch. I always give you guys this reminder. To always follow right now. You guys have time. Hit that follow button.
Saw one too. One recently where they were only following for like what 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So and yeah, it's valid.
Yeah.
It is.
I know
It
we've got
is.
some winners in chat too. I recognize a lot of these names.
Oh yeah, there's quite a few winners from here actually. There's a lot of people. So yeah. But sweet. Good luck, guys. And until then, I think we can go ahead and talk a little bit more. If there's any other questions you guys have, then ask your questions in chat using the command. That way we can go ahead and queue that up. I do see that we do have one question here. Oh, go ahead, James.
I was gonna say real quick, just while we're like since we're cooling down here, I think it would be a good time to maybe Stephanie, if you want to. 'Cause I know some people were interested in potentially getting lots over to you. Is there like a is there like a Discord or anything that also would be an
Yeah.
easy way?
There it
I
is. So
got you. I linked it.
there you go. She called the makers command. Anytime you guys are in here and you can't find it, that is the link to our Discord. I am Clover in there. I'm gonna have the bright blue name. I'm gonna be the person to talk to. We do have a new tool for makers called Maker Console. It is a really cool account and submission management tool. But right now, the only two types of submissions that we can manage through that tool are icon packs and plugins. So for everything else, you're going to come to us through an email, but we've got all that information linked in that Discord. And it's a really good space to ask questions, ask technical questions. A lot of our more technical part of our account is in there in terms of for makers and creating things. So don't come in there for support. We're not there to give you support, but what we are there is to help you guys create with Elgato, and that's across our whole ecosystem. So LUTs is really exciting for us because it's one of our first marketplace products outside of backgrounds that's made specifically for the Camera Hub software.
Yeah, I just
Awesome.
want to make just to make sure there's no confusion in Flame. I just want to make sure just only use there's no like you don't have to put a period or anything. It has to be spelled just LUTs.
Yeah, and it's not
So no period.
it's not sense capitalized.
Mhm.
The
And you
capitalization
only
is
Case
need
not
to do it
sensitive.
sensitive.
once, Flamey.
Case
If
sensitive.
you
Is that
do it
case
multiple
Case
sensitive?
sensitive.
times,
Thank
it's
you.
not
Thank
going to
you.
make any better.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't give
Only
you any
need to do it
benefits.
once.
Have it multiple
It's
times.
one entry per person only. Once you enter it
Flamey, don't make
once,
me give
you're
you that
in.
cooldown.
Give them a cooldown. Give them a cooldown right now.
Dude,
Do
the
it.
ban hammer. See, I told you
Give
guys
them
I
a
needed
cooldown.
ban hammer
The spamming is
emotes.
crazy.
Oh, Flamey,
Cool them
stop.
down.
Okay. Thank you.
Perfect. Guys, do not spam. Do not spam. No spamming allowed, alright? Y'all all have to do it once. Only once. That's it. Right.
Yeah, for those of you guys who have questions about marketplace, about LUTs, even if you have backgrounds, right? Backgrounds is another. It's kind of a silent, more update that I've added deep link support for. Really, all it is just the images that you might download in a .zip from marketplace are opening now in Camera Hub, so you kind of save yourself a step there. But if you guys are interested in creating files for our ecosystem to support Camera Hub or even Stream Deck or some of our other products, please message us.
No, actually, fun thing about that, Chris. I thought Chris said spam should toggle the entry on and off. There is a option to make it so you can only type the keyword once. If you type it more than once, it will take you off the giveaway list. There is an option for that. I don't have that on. If I ever did, I'll let you guys know in ahead.
A lot of
In advance.
people would have been removed.
I agree. All right. Sweet. Do it.
Oh.
Oh my gosh. All right. Let's go ahead and see. Yeah, the bots do. That's why we try to prevent that as well. But we do have a question from T-Bear. They're asking, not Camera Hub related, but is Stream Deck Mark II actually better than the OG Stream Deck? If so, why?
There's like one technical answer for this, and it's the silliest and dumbest answer. The Stream Deck Mach 1 has animated screensavers disabled. We decided when we were testing the feature that it really destabilized the software. And so the hardware team felt it best to disable that feature for the original Stream Deck. That is the only difference between them.
There's like also like a minor thing like pixel resolution on the keys itself too, but it's like very minor. But like performance wise, yeah, there's nothing. Like there's no plugin limitation. There's no like weird software limitation besides like what Stephanie's saying, besides like animated background and then like a slight pixel difference on the keys. But nothing's just like, oh my gosh, you need to upgrade. I mean, there's obviously some more quality of life things. Like we've introduced like it's like the 45-degree stand, right? A detachable USB-C cable now from the actual device itself. It's a detachable cable, but there's more quality of life additions by all means.
Faceplates.
Yeah,
Faceplates
are so good. Yeah,
faceplates are the
faceplates. You
big.
get faceplates.
Yeah, that's like the big hardware wise.
Detachable,
and then faceplates, and then I believe there's one more thing I'm missing, right? There was three main differences for hardware.
The cable,
and then faceplates.
Yeah, and I think I might have said backgrounds. I meant screensavers. So the animated screensaver function, which is when you put your Stream Deck to sleep and it will play a screensaver on loop. It's an animated GIF that'll play on loop. That feature, the screensaver specific feature, is disabled on the Mach 1. That's all.
Yeah, so what we mean by the stand is with the original Mark 1 is it has an adjustable stand So you can actually adjust it slightly. Where with can you show that stand again, Stephanie?
Yeah, as of say, my fiance has my Mach 1 or Mark 1 in his room. Mach 1? I always do this
Mark
wrong.
one, yeah.
Yeah.
Mark. Call him Mark.
Mark. Yeah. So I actually have the original Stream Deck from when they first came out.
Let me see.
My fiance uses that now for Blender. So, but this is the stand, and then this is the base for. It's okay.
It's
We didn't
nice.
need LUTs anyways. But yeah, everything is honestly the same. The resolutions for the buttons are the same. They're all
Oh, there you
72
go.
pixels. Everything's the same.
Still have a atomic purple in the box.
Let's go.
Look at that. Look at that.
Nice.
I have two of these. So I have one that's just sitting in a box. Actually, I have both of them sitting in a box. So this is the stand I was talking about. Is where this stand is obviously it won't be purple. Like this is a special edition one, where as you see, there's a couple of cable channels. You can route the cable through.
Yeah,
Where the other one,
if
if you're familiar with the Mark 1, it will have an adjustable stand.
and this is the XL stand, right? So it's a little more.
What number do I have? I gotta see. This one is
Ooh.
3728. So I bought 3. I actually bought 3 to try to get good numbers. I bought 2 in particular, hoping that they would be similar. So my wife and I would have similar numbers or close to, but unfortunately that wasn't the case. But yeah, this one is actually 28. I gotta see the other one. I don't know what number this one.
Oh, see, I have 2813.
Well,
So
3728. It's not an early one. It's 3728. So to be exact,
ooh,
I wish it was 28. That'd be sick.
2813.
Ooh, I don't remember what
Vic,
mine
do you
was.
really have 6900? Oh, 69. Yeah, I was about to say if you had 69 out of 69, that would be
There's
super
6900.
nice.
Yeah, 6900, 69. I wonder who did get 6900, 6900. That'd be sick.
Same.
Yeah.
Oh, I would probably like post that. Students have number.
Ooh, before we end it, we
I
gotta do
was
a call
just
out.
thinking the same thing because we haven't really gone over streamed at 6.9 a
That's
ton.
different. But today's not that. Today's not that though. But yeah, we gotta talk about it
There
forever.
is a Q&A. There was another Q&A for that, for a stream of that prior before.
But that's beside the point. For those of you guys who don't know, go check out the betas page because we launch stuff all the time on there.
Our subreddit too. We're currently hosting a new beta.
Oh, what's the beta?
So
Talk
we're
about
good.
it.
We should talk about it now. Should we do the giveaway now? Should we do or
Talk about the beta first, and then we'll do the giveaway afterwards.
okay? So yeah. So right now we are hosting a new beta that just started today on our website and on our subreddit. So if you just go to elgato.com/downloads or just go to the Elgato subreddit, that's a pin page. But we've introduced Stream Deck 6.9. Very nice. So that is there. Also, we didn't make it publicly known, but there is an Easter egg in the software that you have. I'm not. That's all I'm going to say. I didn't put it anywhere else. I didn't put it in the patch notes and the sub posts.
You know what? Okatech already
Nothing.
found it earlier today, so I have faith that
Perfect.
everybody else in this chat will find it.
So perfect. But there is an Easter egg in that beta build. There's actually technically 2. I don't know if you noticed. Okatech. There's actually technically 2.
There's an
Technically.
Easter egg within the Easter egg.
Technically 2. Good, nice thing. But this one has a lot of like a ton of quality of life changes, which actually I'm very excited about. So for example, let me actually just show my desktop here and we can actually bring up the post. So Reddit. So we can just give a quick little rundown here. Would So right here, as you see, once you get to the subreddit, what's going on?
Oh no, Caravan Rabbit was just saying if I threw some subtle shade that if Okatech can find it, anyone can find it.
Oh, that's
Oh
rude. That's
no,
rude.
Okatech knows
So
that I love him.
one of the coolest things that we've introduced is the ability to download missing plugins. So for example, if you in the past, right, let's just say something to note, this only works if you do this with 6.9 or later. So let's say, for example, I had a bunch of like Discord stuff, right? on all these different soundboards, right? Well, let's say I delete the plugin. Normally what you would get is these question marks here, but now you'll be able to say you'd have like a new profile or someone sends you a profile. As long as you're logged into your marketplace account, you can now automatically download these missing plugins if they're on marketplace. So that's one of the huge features that got introduced, which is as many of you who've used Unique in the past are very familiar with this, where you would have to go. I mean, you don't lose the settings, right? You might have to request access again, but you don't lose the settings, but you would have to go into marketplace, re-download it, and then you're good to go. The next thing we introduced was we have a new open application feature. So a lot of people were using open. We have actually an open application. This is great for people, like, especially on Windows. This will detect now all your apps that are running, and you can also type. So you can type in like Spotify, for example. Uh, this is also very handy for what is it? Or I forget the acronym. But the native Windows app. Native app built in. What did that called again? They were called
No, Rocky,
UWP.
they're similar,
UWP.
but they have differences.
Yes. So open, for example, in the past, let me just show you too. So open, you would have to type in the file path or directly or go into the actual executable. You can't just type in Spotify here and type like that. You can't just do that. It won't work. But with the open application, I can just type in Spotify or I can type in Teams. If it's built in, like I said, it also picks up UWP apps. So before the open here, UWP is like Windows masks the folder and hides it away. So it's really hard to find these applications. Prior, you would have to use like bar raiders, like advanced launcher or something like this in the past to actually be able to access these particular applications. But now it's actually built in as well, so it's more native. Um, the other thing too we've introduced is if you're using website, is you'll be able to select different web browsers, so you can choose your default. Um, and some more. So like Stream Dev Desktop now is this individual own plugin. So it just makes it easier to update. And there's some more and some Mac particular quality of life features. So for example, you can snap the window again. So by pressing the green maximize button, you can choose to snap the window to a certain position on your onto your screen. And one thing that a lot of people will be happy about, which is a very nice quality of life changes, is you'll be able to disable automatically check for updates and automatically open at login. So on Windows, this was you could disable automatically startup on your computer via Task Manager, but Apple users could not do this. So now it's actually built into the applications where you can disable automatically startup on your computer if you don't want your it to automatically open. So, and as well too, this Stream will now show up on the dock. So, of course, if you're familiar with the Windows UI, you'll have the Windows dock. You can now, when you have it minimize or have it off to your different screen, the icon will show up on the dock, and you can pull it up into your main screen. So, a lot of quality of life changes get introduced into this build. I didn't even copy. I didn't even actually real quick. I know Jed, I'm going a little bit too super deep still, but I'm almost done with this. And the last thing I really happy about is text. You could change now from if in the past, if you use this, it was prior, it was seeming like it was typing. So it would like act like it was typing everything out. You can now do paste from clipboard. So especially if you're using more longer commands and you don't want to type every single thing out, you can now change this to just paste from your clipboard. So it'll be as if you press command or copy and paste. It'll be very similar behavior now for both Windows and Mac. So that's the quick, as fast as I could run down on that. Definitely check it out. I'll post a link, of course, in the chat here for you to check out and get some feedback on that. All right.
Hi, awesome. Thank you for that. So yeah, make sure you go check out the Reddit link, guys. Go check out our Reddit as well as where all the betas happen. So James handles all of that. And James, you want to talk about? I believe you started like a new little like monthly thread or something like that for them to share, like a talk or something like that.
Yeah, so one thing to keep an eye out too is we're looking to some more. We've been doing some more active posts, of just getting your guys' feedback on certain things or how you guys are utilizing it, which just actually gives us a more stronger understandings. Like for example, last week we asked about how you guys are using multi actions. Next, I'm going to be posting again here shortly, probably next week, just because we have two posts asking as well the community of how you guys are using utilizing your Elgato products in certain ways. So it's called Community Voice. So definitely keep an eye out next week, where we ask about how you're using your Stream Deck, for example, or how you're using your webcam, how you're using Wavelink, et cetera, just to get ideas. Or even we'll do like we do it in Discord, like a flex zone where you can show off. So just keep an eye out. We're starting to do more uh, posts where the community can go and share their ideas or share their setup. So definitely keep an eye out. It'll typically be a pin post. So if you don't see anything pinned, there's nothing going on at the moment.
And also, just a quick little call out before we do the giveaway as well. So, you guys make sure to join our Discord server as well. This is where all the fun contests and fun community events also happen. Discord Q and A's, you name it. This is like the best place to get Discord announcements for our events that's going on. So we do like a lot of you get lots of free swag, a chance to win free swag. Not that you all get it, but there's some members of the month where if you're a very active member within the community who's kind of like a role model for others, very helpful, very welcoming, very kind, then usually one of our mods and the staff will nominate a user, and it'll go through like a little voting process of oh, if this person is the most active, then we can give them the Mem North role, which will give you access to the Mem Month channel as well as direct chats with staff here and there, or staff is mainly mainly me or Brito, sometimes Phil, James here as well. Stephanie as well too. She's very active in the server as well. So you'll see her around a lot, especially in the marketplace channel. And then we also have like a flex zone, which is a forum channel where if you have a setup, a really nice setup, or just a setup you want to share, we have a monthly flex zone winner where our favorite flex zone photo or photo setup will receive usually Elgato swag, and usually it's like a sweatshirt and a t-shirt, but prices can vary or change depending on stock. So it's really cool. It's really fun. And just read the rules. There's like a pin message over there. You can also just basically, just share photos, your setups if you want to. It doesn't have to be entered just for like the flex zone, was it, competition stuff. So yeah. Um, Apple was like, has there been any new months over the past few months? Actually curious, haven't noticed anyone become green. There has not been because most of the active members are already member of the months. So we go through like a very strict process of member months because we have to make sure that, the member month is not just a 1 month. It's like this is a process we go through that's strict. We have to make sure that we can vet for them, and make sure there's like no issues around this user and stuff like that. Because if you're gonna be a role model for Elgato, then we want to make sure there's no problematic users who might accidentally become a member month just for the 1 month duration, basically. So it's more of a we gotta make sure, because then yeah, when you're there we rock. Yes, this has been a very informative stream. I'm glad. I'm glad.
Love to hear it.
Yeah, thank you guys. Y'all have been fun. A little trolly today. That's okay. We're being extremely nostalgic, but it's been really fun.
Yeah, the vibes are off. We're banning you.
Yeah.
Real quick, I wanna touch on something Rubens talked about maybe 5 minutes ago, and we did get a
Okay.
chance to touch on. Rubens, yes, Streamlabs desktop is no longer natively installed on Stream Deck with 6.9 moving forward. So for those of you guys who've probably noticed when you've set up your Stream Deck, the Streamlabs desktop is always there on the action on the right side. We have taken that natively out of the software, have given it its own standalone plugin, and put it into the marketplace. So if you're actively using that software right now and you are worried if it's going to break, it's not. Again, that feature that James showed earlier about, oh, you're missing this plugin, you want to get it, it's going to direct you to download the Streamlabs plugin and it will work as it functioned previously. So if you
Yeah.
have a profile with the keys, it's all there. But what that does is it gives us the ability to better quality control that plugin over time, and it gets it out of the app because we have a lot of users that use Stream Decks that aren't streamers, and so they don't need to have that installed because they're using it for other purposes.
And one of the things too, it just this was also when we first added Streamlabs when Stream Deck was first being built. So the plugin itself, yeah, like Stephanie was saying, was more native inside the app. So there were some limitations. I think it's a nitty gritty, but yeah, being separated, it gives it a lot more functionality and update potential capabilities. And so if you did have it before, all you need to simply do is you will see a question mark as soon as you update to 6.9. Like she said, just click on the question mark on the very top. if you're not logged into your marketplace account, it'll prompt you to log in, and it will automatically download directly into Stream Deck. You don't even need to go to open up a marketplace anymore. So, and all your settings will be saved.
Yeah. And again, this is just beta right now. There will be until the 6.9 actually launches and auto updates, you don't need to worry about it if you're not actively participating
Correct.
in the beta.
Correct.
Awesome. All right. I think that wraps things up. So let's go ahead and get ready to draw the winner. Last chance, hit that follow button right now because if you're not following us
Follow or
and your name
lose.
is drawn, we will roll
Flamey,
for a
I'm
new
watching
winner.
you.
So hit that follow button right now. All right. On the count of 5, 4, 3. Can we get some Elgato hearts in chat? Actually, get those Elgato hearts in
Yeah.
chat. All the Elgato hearts for our beta testers, for James, Stephanie.
What a troll.
Thanks for being on the stream with us. For our, for everyone in the community,
What?
I like seeing the
This
cute
is the
little
longest
hearts,
5 seconds of my life.
We're on 3,
Jasmine's
we're on
just
3.
saying Mississippi
We're on
really
3.
long and in slow motion.
Yeah, we're on 3. All right, okay, now. 2.
Right.
2.5. I think I'm counting upwards. What? All right, let's go. Congrats to Zinc.
Hey,
let's
Zeke!
go.
There you go.
Oh my gosh. Yo, congrats.
MP
Let's
Zeke.
go.
Let's go, Zink. I already saw them.
Congratulations.
They already typed Elgato heart. They were spamming Elgato hearts earlier. Congrats on winning a Facecam Mark II. I'll be reaching out to you via Twitch DMs. So make sure your Twitch DMs are open. And give me about
Great
30
webcam.
minutes after the stream ends that we can go ahead and wrap things up after the stream has ended. But yeah, congrats to Zinc. And we'll see you guys next time. So once again, make sure you go follow us on our socials. So you can go join our Discord server, go check out the Reddit, all that stuff. And let's go ahead and find someone to raid here. Let me see. Who is currently live? Bum, 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 bum.
The last person we rated on Monster Hunter, they got a good kick. That was pretty cool.
Ooh.
Are you playing the new Monster Hunter?
Oh yeah, I am.
Yeah. I haven't started a new game yet, but I'm itching to start something new, trying to figure out
You
what it's going to be.
should.
Otherwise, I'm
Oh,
just
you
gonna
know-
fall right back into Fallout 76. So
You should play the best game in the world, League of Legends.
no.
All right, we're gonna raid Umi no Kaiju. So Umi is super, super awesome. I believe, yes, it's an Elgato creator, so go check Umi out. And they're currently playing Marvel Rivals. All right, let's go ahead and I'm going to start this raid for you guys. Where's my Twitch? Here we go. Starting the raid. All right, guys, we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye everyone. Thank you.